Hello, it is Lord Haywire. I noticed that a lot of times I say hello too early, and so it just has me going, oh, at the beginning of my videos on YouTube. I think it's kind of funny. I'm trying to say hello. I should change it. It says that I'm streaming. Like OBS has a little red light turns on, but you're not really sending your stuff yet. I read an article. I read part of an article. All right, read a headline that said there's like a pause that old people do with video, like when a camera turns on them. Young people don't do that anymore. OBS, you gotta have a big long pause, and I just wing it. I don't do like the count. I just wing it, and I'm wrong 90% of the time. Anyways, I am working on a 2D 4X video game that's open source. It's inspired by other 2D 4X video games. It takes place in North America. Right now, we're just working on these counties. I always have to say this because people think this is the whole game. We're just, until we get like everything working, then I'll slowly start adding more counties. Right now, though, we just have these seven, I believe. I always post a test in YouTube, on YouTube here, because I'm streaming both to YouTube and Twitch, to make sure that I can see, and then it comes across on my little chat thing over here, which you can't see what I was doing, but now you can. This is written with C# and using Godot. I'm learning as I go, and last time I streamed, somebody said, "Why don't you do it this way?" And I was like, "Oh, I didn't know that was how you're supposed to do it." So I basically, that's how it works. I kind of fuck around, and someone in chat says you're doing, nicely, sometimes not nicely, but I ignore the people who aren't nice, nicely, and says, how do you do, why are you doing it this way? And then they say, you should look into how to do it this other way. And then I do some tutorials, and sometimes I learn something, and sometimes I don't. This time I think I've learned something. So the thing that I think I learned is I have these public classes called like skill handling, and I had one called perk handling. And it actually doesn't need to be needed. It doesn't, because I already have these resources. So like, here's a resource that has perk name and perk description. We're going to add stuff to it later. But I had a thing that was perk handling, and it was, check for perk, and then it does all this stuff. But when in reality, I just stick this stuff in the resource, and it's easy, it's in a good spot, easy to find. I don't need an extra thing here. So we're going to start moving over this skill handling. It seemed to work well with perk handling. Chat tells me something and I don't take their word for it. I kind of like slowly move. I learn as I go, but we'll be moving it over here to the skill data. And I just remembered something else that was said last time, and I was like, well, should I try that? No, we'll I don't know. There was a question about the clock. The clock wasn't working correctly, but now I think it is. It's different than what ChatGPT told me to make it. They told me to count up, and I'm counting down. No, it said it doesn't matter what it said. Anyways, even though I think this is supposed to just be in process. Physics process means that the frame rate is synced to the physics. Yeah, I don't think we want it synced. I wonder how much this will jack up stuff if I just change this to process, though. I think this changes to like a float or something. Or, no, I guess not. Let's see what it does. Let's restart the game here and see if my clock's all fucked up. And we'll just put it back if it isn't fucked up. If it is fucked up. Let's see. Unpause. Wow, it's really fast. It's really fast. If I change that, the problem is that this is like a double or whatever, so it's not like a whole number, and it was skipping numbers occasionally because it was, that looks fine, but man, that's really fast. We'd have to turn down the ticks, which isn't the end of the world. I don't think we want in the physics one though, because, I'm going to put a note in here. Should this be physics process or just process? And I'm going to put this back to physics process. And you know what I'll also do is put this on. I have a GitHub. This is open source, so I have a GitHub with stuff, and I'll add into this, like, this is my list of to do, but also just list of questions and things like, what's an interface? Someone says, in chat, they say, why aren't you using an interface? And I say, what the fuck is an interface? And so then I do some research. I've been trying to figure out a use for interfaces for a long time now. Dependency injection as well. Anyways, I have this on my clip in the clock script. There we go. And I guess I don't really need a period. But I'm going to actually convert this to an issue. If it's just an idea, I don't, convert it to an issue. Even though this interface thing should be an issue. Because it is something that I need to learn here. We're also going to so as we go through this, we're also going to do the localization, because I'm way behind on that, because I started to learn how to do it later, and I've kind of dug a hole that I want to dig out of here. But the first thing we have on this list is not very up to date, because I figured out how to do different stuff, and so it's pretty dated, but we're going to get through this whole list. But the first thing, this is real from last time. So what that is right here. So we're basically setting up how the AI, I'm reluctant to put AI in the title these days of the video. And when I say AI, because people think that I'm talking about like today's AI, not like game AI, or at least I think they are thinking that. But what we're doing is we're going through each step of how the computer AI thinks about stuff, and fixing it, making it better. So let's actually start at the top. The top is our faction AI, which is what we're kind of this is now a dumb name for this method. It sure is. So we're starting at the faction level, where the faction thinks about, and then we're going down each thing. And so let's pin this faction AI over here, wherever it went to. Let's put it over here. And so this is assigning research for each county. For each county, I thought this said county. For each county population in the all heroes list, it's going to assign them. And it's just manually, temporary assign all. And this is wrong, because this has now been started. Let's look here. We can look on our research thing. It was doing research, but we added basic storage in here. So this is the wrong on the list. So let's put this to 2. Which is the third one, and I think that should, and we're not going to do it this way. Maybe we should fix this right now. Just be like, go through the list and find one that hasn't been researched. The problem is that we only have 3 items. It's gonna matter later more. We gotta unpause it to test this. Yeah. They're researching basic research. Yeah. So we'll just leave this like this, temporary to researching. Researching. This is very primitive and useless currently. It goes through the whole, if they're available, if they're idle, current activity, perfect. That's all we need right now for the faction level. And I put it next to this faction because there's also a faction node that basically triggers end of day, start of day. It adds the leader influence, which is, I think, actually where we were at, is where we need to start adjusting things again. So let's see. The banker does this stuff, which is what we want. So add leader influence. So it does a perk data. It checks to have if your leader has a leader of people perk. And I was thinking about this like months ago, and I completely forgot until just now. The leader of people perk should just give you a bonus. You should automatically generate influence as the leader, but you should get a bonus for this. So let's do that. This whole thing where I'm going back over a ton of code and fixing it. improving it. So ad leader influence should be just a set amount. And what I'm doing is I'm sticking all of these in here in my globals. My screen flashed over there for some reason. Hopefully my computer isn't crashing or something. So where to, yeah, researcher research increase is 10. Increased bonus, research increase bonus is 1 above max. Wait, we're not doing research, we're doing influence. Do I just have it hard coded in here? That seems like what I've been doing poorly. Ad leader influence, that was the banker. Where's our banker? Banker does all the math for us. I just had it open. I was just looking. Oh, it's right here. Let's move that. We're going to be dealing with the banker a lot today. Let's move the banker over to here. He's an important part of this. So this should be something different. This should actually be so let's see, they have to have a faction leader. You can't not have a faction leader. So it should just be, we'll put in some random number. We'll just copy this actually. Daily influence gain is actually what we want this to be. And then we'll go this perk will give you a bonus. Hey, you know what we should do? We should write a thing that adds any bonuses on here. That's what we should do. This should be in let's see, ad leader influence. This should be here, I guess. We should have a little method that just adds it automatically, like it will just check. So I was going to write another method that would run after and add their bonuses, but let's just add their bonus right here. So this is just a check for perk. Ad leader influence. Maybe it's easier to do it as 2 different things. So that would be that there. And let's do it as 2 separate things for now. Later bonus influence. And we're going to do faction data, and then we'll do this, and then we'll move this shit up here, and then we'll get rid of this extra thing. Perk data equals new, and we'll do that. We'll do that, and then we'll put this. I mean, I guess it should be inside here. I guess. I was thinking we could return. Actually, this is what it should be. What is this thing, an int? I think it's an int. We'll return an int here. Return. We're going to change this too. We'll just put bonus, int bonus. And I guess we got to put a 0 there for now. Yeah, so it's going to check if they have the perk, and then we're going to need a global over here. I saw the influence thing. I always tell people not to search in my job, not to search with your eyes, because your eyes suck. It's searching. We want this and this off. And here it is. Daily influence gain. And we'll do export public int leader of people influence bonus. I want these all to be in a central location because so I can adjust it as we test. CM, how's it going? Event variables. So this doesn't sound very good. Let's break this down into like banker whoops. What's your problem? Banker variables, what we'll call that. Except, well, we're going to have to move some shit around. Faction variables? There we go. So, go back to here. Return bonus, but we need to put this bonus up here actually. Return bonus. And that actually will be 0, and we'll have this bonus equal globals, instance, influence, leader of people. And then what we'll do is, since this is returning a whatchamafuck, that's what it's officially called, is a whatchamafuck, I will do this. Except it didn't work. Let me copy this thing as far as there, and then we'll put faction data. There we go. So it's gonna check if they have. It's gonna have a bonus if they have this. It's just gonna add. Whoops. It's just gonna add 0 if they don't have that, and they're gonna get their daily influence gain, which is whatever. And we don't know. The bonus is currently 0, I think. So we might as well put. We'll put something in the inspector, I guess. Let's build this thing, hopefully. I think my chat thing over here doesn't keep the messages long enough. It's my theory, at least. Faction variables. Let's do daily influence gain as 5. Let's give a bonus of 5 as well. So they'll go up 10 if they have the leader of people perk. All right, that was unnecessary, but it was nice to get it done. So back to what we were doing. The banker was, oh, it's giving us, oh my God, look at all of these things. I hate these things. You can go away. All right, I hate some of these things. Unnecessary assignment of a value to bonus. What do you mean? Introduce parameter for bonus. The fuck are you talking about? Oh, you know what it is? This should be here, and this should be here. That's what it is. So those messages I like. It's all of these static ones that drive me insane because it always says that you can mark this as static, but it's lying because we're returning something. So I have to go through this whole process, and they took away the ability to right click. I don't know what happened to it. I did an update and it was gone. So now I have to do it this dumb way where I hit Alt and then I go down to here and then I go, whoops, the hell mouse. Go down to here, hit that, hit this thing. Good God, mouse, what's your problem? What did I select? I think I selected the wrong thing. All right, well, oh yeah, I did. Get this out of here. I want us to do it in file. And then I save this file. And then what happens is I've made changes to things. So sometimes this reappears and says that it needs to be something else. Um, this one as well is getting called from, well, it's getting called in here, so maybe it, public static, maybe it can be. So I always test it, not always, but generally test it and see. I guess we can rerun it here. And my music very loud today. I know you guys can't hear it. All right, so that one was fine being static. Then this next one, this one can be static too, I think, because it's just firing it at once. It did nothing. Oh, I guess I was wrong. Oh no, we're firing it from over here. Yep, that makes sense. Okay. It used to be different, I think. It did. It used to be just that it would go through all of these. Why are you doing this? I've noticed lately that the finger, the icon that my mouse is wrong sometimes. And then we'll save this thing, and that should go away. Please. There we go. I feel like this computer needs a reformat. It needs a fresh install of Windows. It's getting clunkier and clunkier as time goes by. All right, so back to we haven't even got to the thing, but this is the thing that we want to mess with for the start here. So the banker goes through all of the heroes, and if they're set for researching, it's going to do a skill check, and then it's going to see if they learn anything. That's different though. So this is the problem. It should be calling the banker. Oh, we're in the banker. It should be doing this for basically the same thing we just did. So that they get a base rate, and then they get a bonus if they pass a skill check for learning. So what we're gonna do, and we'll move this skill handling check thing over to the skill data as well. So I guess that's the first step here. Where is our skill handling? This is gonna go, and we're gonna go put this in skill data now. And then we're gonna get some bugs. And this definitely cannot be checked as, or this cannot be static. So let's go to here. So this is going to now be skill data. And this is going to be skill data. I guess I could have just done this with a find replace here. What is your problem? Oh, I moved over the wrong thing. Check learning? No, I thought I just rolled over check. I did. Skill data. Oh, this is a skill handling. This is the problem. There we go. And then this we got to move over to. So skill handling is going to go away, basically. But we're also going to rewrite this stuff. I hope. Look how long this thing is. Seems kind of convoluted. And I got too much. Whatever. What's its problem? It won't go down anymore. It's like, no, I don't want to do that. Like I said, I feel like this computer's gotta get its that's like what I do for my job is I go scorched earth. Like if there's a point where the computer is just acting strange and it's just constantly strange, I just reformat the fucking thing. Problem is I don't want to do that to this computer because I'm lazy and I don't want to have to reset up everything. Okay, let's close skill handling. Let's go over to here. Let's go to skill handling, wherever I put it. It's in public classes. Let's delete it. Off it goes. Let's go back to here. And let's see here. Sometimes I feel like people can't hear me on YouTube. I should double check because I say hello and then they're gone. Skill handling doesn't exist. Yep, that's true. And this is gonna be. Let's just rename this data. And that's all. That's fixed all of those things. But we have a battle control. That's part of like whatever. It's something for later. Suppress message, invalid target. Yeah. So now these things don't need to be here anymore. And we'll go back to this and we'll say that this one does though. So we're gonna suppress this thing. It really was much better when you could just right click on these things down here. And then this is the same thing. Whoops, not Control F, Alt Enter. Suppress to file. And then we're gonna get here. We're gonna get here eventually to fix this. We're almost there. Okay. I gotta change my music that you guys can't hear because man, it's I don't know what this. Oh, it's the new Misfits. These guys keep getting suggested to me on YouTube, and they're awful. The new Misfits. One time I recommended to one of my old bandmates. I was like, "You should check out the Misfits. You would like them." And she came back and she was like, "Man, this band's so good." And she started listing all these song names, and I was like, "I don't know any of those songs." And sadly, she was listening to the new Misfits. It made me sad. I mean, it's good for her if she found a band that she liked, but I meant the old Misfits, the ones with Danzig. Anyways, so okay, what the fuck are we doing here? The banker. So add leader influence should be. We basically just need to do this again, but with research. Increase researcher research. Yeah, these are all bad. Let's make sure we're on the right thing here. I feel like we assign research first, and that's already done. So let's move these into like a more organized fashion here. Faction, county AI is actually called population AI, I think. Now we have the county AI here too. It's not pinned though, so it's not gonna let me move it over here. Okay, so after we do our faction level, we go to our I guess I decide building county improvements. Let's check that to make sure. Look at all this weird shit. This I also don't like. And so we're going to change this too. So county AI, we're going to decide county improvements. If the county is the player, you just get the fuck out of here. That's what we want to do. We have a new banker. If the banker this is not true. Enough food, false. Find a food building. Okay, I already did all this. I wonder if this part shouldn't be on the banker though. The banker counts stuff. This isn't really counting stuff, and I've flip-flopped back and forth on this. This should kind of be on the faction AI level, honestly. Check if the county has enough food. Or on the county AI level. Well, I guess we're in the county AI level. But find food building. I think the find food building should be in, not the banker. I just don't like it that the banker isn't doing it. And why? Because the banker counts things. It doesn't find food buildings. But the county level AI should find the food buildings. Yeah, I think we'll move this away from the banker. And just to be more confusing to myself later. So let's move this to, yeah, like this. I'm going to try to keep it very specific. Find food building. It'd be nice if we could just say, in fact, we can do it. I'm going to rewrite this since this is here. And like I said, we just want to rewrite everything that we come across that sucks. It makes things take longer, but it will be better in the future. Okay, so back to this. Where was my banker? Save this so we get all these errors. County AI. It shouldn't be find food building. It should be find building of type. This is what we're going to do. And then we'll add a type in. So what is this thing? Yeah, so all resource type. This is what we'll do here. County. Dalek, how's it going? Dalek? Probably Dalek, right? From the Doctor Who. This should probably be in here. So you know how there's those Doctor Who missing episodes? You know, like how that's a thing. Oops, we don't want this to be food. We want it to say resource here. Faction resource. Type. And this is now long, so I'm going to move it over here so it can be seen. There's like 200 or something. Oh, that's too many. There's a bunch of missing ones, and I swear, I when I was 19, I went to Montreal I lived in Montreal for 3 months, and I swear I saw some of them on TV. Like, I remember reading an article. I was like, wait, I saw some of those on TV. I swear to God, I can't remember which ones now. So what we'll do is we'll put this here now. The lost episodes. And let's look at how this thing works, though. Because we just changed a bunch of stuff. Oh, this would have been this is in 1992. So it would have been pre that. It was one, it was the it was the doctor who was old. that's a great narrow that down there for the time period. But I remember I was so impressed with Doctor Who. I still am with it. I haven't watched it in years, but I was so impressed with Doctor Who because the old ones, especially, but some of the newer not new ones, but he doesn't care about his companions a lot of times, and bad things happen to him. And I find that's not that seems unusual in that type of TV, if that makes sense. Like, in most of that, like that type of TV, like the companions would be really important. There's specifically, I'm going to get all these details wrong. One that I can think of, it's this old doctor. They go to like Rome, or no, not Rome. Where's the place with the volcano? And his companions, he like just ignores his companions the whole time, and then his like companions barely get back. And so they like almost die. The heart now is, which one is that? The old the old and I also like that they suck at the TARDIS sometimes too. I don't know. A Doctor Who's great. We don't need this banker crap here though. Maybe. Oh, I didn't type is what we gotta find. Food building. Find building of type. We should probably see. I've already find building of type. We want the type to be all enums dot instance dot food faction. What is my problem here? No, there's no instance in this. Faction resource type. No. Yes. Resource type. Resource type. Not food. There we go. I am working on a 2D 4X game in Godot and C Sharp, and I'm learning both of those things as I go here. Someone in chat recommended something really useful last time. I was streaming on Wednesday. I usually don't stream on Wednesday. I just stream on the weekends. But I decided to stream out of the blue on Wednesday, and someone was like, "Why don't you do this?" And so I was like, "Oh shit, I should be doing that," which is moving these into these resources. I have like their checks in here instead of some other separate thing. But at the same time, I'm also rewriting a bunch of stuff because it's all trash. So right now, find building of type. So it's going to find this building of this type. That way we don't have to have like all of these different methods for each building type. I don't know why I did it that way. This code's pretty old. If it's under construction or built, it just gets out of there. For each improvement, so okay, so it's going to go through, and I got to change my music that you guys can't hear. It's playing Marilyn Manson, so I hadn't listened to Marilyn Manson in many years, and I heard this one Marilyn Manson song, and I was like, this song's actually pretty good, and so I went through and listened to a bunch of his albums, and like so much of it's so bad. It's so bad. Let's see. And then if this is, so okay, so it goes through and it checks these things, and if it's, all right, that's fine. Good God. I renamed the thing, so this has to go. I can just delete this out of here. And that's now at county AI level. So this seems to be better. I think check for building cost. Okay, so this one should be, because the banker handles adding and subtracting and money and stuff. So this should still be on the banker, I think. Check enough county food. That should also be the banker. Check for building cost, and then build improvement. I don't think this should be the banker, honestly. I think this should be the county AI. So let's move this over from the banker. I want this to be much more specific to what they're doing here. And we'll do this. And can we fix anything in here? Let's take this out of here for right now. No, we might need to test this with that there. And yeah, we're gonna need to test this with these GD prints. Let's fix these stupid messages. I just wish they had a better way of doing it. This one's only getting checked here, so maybe it can be static. And then this one, find building of type, may get checked elsewhere, but let's see if it will let me do. We'll deal with the problems later. That's what always happens is I put this static thing in just to get rid of this message. Like right now it worked. And then later I'm like, why doesn't this work? Because I'm trying to, sign it from afar. That's a good question. It used to, but doesn't need it anymore. That was under our county AI. Find building of type. It could just return, where is this thing? It could just return. No, that's fine. When I last stream, I don't know if it was Wednesday or last Sunday, I was like, what the fuck is this out thing in here? And I think ChatGPT helped me write this. But we can just return. So this is returning a food building. I mean, it does need it. Maybe you want to return true instead of using the try pattern. What is the try pattern? But we couldn't have this equal to food building and just return it instead of having this out thing. What's better? Is return better or out better? What's the difference? Return, C#, return versus out. Or out. Return values are almost always the right choice when the method doesn't have anything else to return. In fact, I don't think of any case where I'd ever want a void method with an out parameter if I had a choice. C#. I'm sorry, I'm laughing because of the video. I was talking about it last time. The video, the tutorial that was calling it C#. And I don't know if that's right for if you're in England. C# 7 deconstruct method for language support such as very. Okay, so out we probably don't want. Almost always the right choice. So we can fix that. Maybe you want to return true instead use the try pattern. Public pool, try to get string out foo. The try pattern is super useful when you want to check if a method returns something and optionally get the parameter rather than check for null. And what is it? What does it say? Try to get? But that's something we're writing, right? String foo identity out. If fighter here, I'm gonna copy this. It's always looks strange in chat. If it will let me copy it. I'm gonna bring this down so that I can read it so that chat can see or the whole thing. Yeah, it shouldn't it? And I feel like it should. With Discord, I do that. I use that all the time. The little code thing. I use it actually way more than I feel like I should. So we put in the string or whatever. Are we doing the goddamn string check again up here? Sorry, that's it. For a long time, I was comparing two strings, and now I've changed them to enums. First or default. Okay, so I think I used this somewhere else for a different list. I think, or something similar. Yeah, I like enums a lot. I feel like I'm. This is a comment. I would say this every goddamn stream. I feel like I really like something way too much, and then I like use it all the time, and then I find out that there's actually a better way to do it. And so that I'm in the enum thing where I just have enums everywhere. So what is this thing? What is this called? It's called the try pattern. C# try pattern. I haven't heard of this before. When is try supposed to be used? This is known as the try parse pattern. It's been documented by Microsoft. How old is this? 10 years old. Consider that, no, this is try parse. Is this the same thing? The try get to clean up your code. All right, so this is going to be something I'm going to have to add to my list, which I was talking about earlier today. Try pattern. One second here. Whoops. Try pattern. This is going to make an issue here. Let's bring it up with my dependency injections. Let's bring it up higher here. I want this up here still to remind me. In fact, I'm going to put this up higher so that I got to remember that the minute I type in something, I got to actually go to the localization. Scroll down on this on this, not that one. Let's go to this one. This is known as try parse. Pattern has been documented. Thus, if you have code for which your regular use case would mean that it might throw an exception. The try parse pattern, I'm going to put this in my thing here. The one with 100 edit. The one with 100 go. The one with the 135 upvotes. Whoops. All right. So I've found that for things that are like that I don't have any idea about, I need to go like research them later and then come back. Otherwise, I'll be like stuck in this perpetual I usually stream for 3 hours. This like loop of me not understanding and me just asking questions and then chat getting upset because I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And they're like, what are you talking? So then I just look at it later. But I am gonna look at this 135 one. Wait, wrong one. When I see tries, I assume it doesn't know returns. If I expect value, returns this. There exists something. All right, I'll look at this later. Thank you though, and because I'm always trying to improve what I'm doing, I still consider myself very much a noob. But I think I should return this. I think that's going to be an easier solution here. Is just because that sounds like this was some weird ChatGPT thing. And we'll get rid of this, which is a common thing. Where was this thing? What are we doing? Find building of type. We're gonna need you to be a county improvement data. You're gonna go away. At the beginning, I was, the other thing too that's funny is I'll be in the middle, like chat will be like basically writing the code for me, and then someone else will come in and be like, no, you're both doing it wrong. And it will be like, oh no. What are we doing here? Why am I nulling this out? I was wondering that. Oh, because that's the thing. I got something on my clipboard, otherwise I would have Control X that. We need to return nothing there. So we need to return null here. And then we need to return I wonder why I named this. Oh, because I had that out thing. All right, maybe I don't need this shit on my clipboard. I don't need that on my clipboard. This is all strange now. Let's fix this. You can right click and then probably on your VS profile, click F12 to jump to the, let me put this in. I'm not sure what you mean. Jump to the definition. Right click on a method name. You're meaning like down here though, right? And then F12. And then you can't just control click it. Is that what, are you talking about the same thing as control click or something else? Okay. Let's put this back. We don't need this. You know what bums me out a lot is that I'm learning all these hotkeys and stuff. And none of them work in other Microsoft products. I'll be like control Xing, I'll select like this and do control X when I'm working in a Word file. It doesn't know what the fuck I'm doing. it just sits there. I'm like, what? All right, so I should have renamed this. Let's put this back and I'll just rename it. county improvement data here. So for each one of these in this list, if it's this and this, return null. If it's this, we don't need this garbage at all. Yeah, we can just return county improvement data. All right, so that's a little bit better. You know, it's another thing. Speaking of inconsistencies, is like I'm an IT guy in real life, you know, my day job, and regularly, you'll go between in the admin panel, you'll go between two different. What is your problem? And it can be marked as static. Not all call. Yes, return. No, regularly you'll go through two different panels and they'll operate differently. And I'm always like, man, they have two different people program this, and they didn't have like the same goals, or you know, they didn't give them the same, like, this is how you're gonna do it. They're like, oh, just do it however, and you do it however, and then when you click on stuff, it operates differently. It's like, why didn't they just tell them, here's the specifications, it has to operate this same way, and it has to operate this other same way. There's this company we use for our email called Mimecast. You request to change your password, you have to get two different codes, like 2FA codes. One is like 50 characters long and the other one's like 5. And I'm like, two different people wrote this. And it blows my mind that they didn't have like, okay, your base setting is you have to have 10 characters in this code, you know, in your 2FA code. And and no one said anything to them. No one said like, these are different. It couldn't be that hard, but maybe it's like built in so crazy that it's that if they try to, you know, it's all spaghettied, and if they try to change it, the whole thing breaks. Yeah, but it blows my mind that, you know, Microsoft is getting better with the admin panels where they're similar, but not. It's still like 20%. Okay, fine type. This wants me to put a static in here. I don't think it's actually gonna like that. I don't think it's gonna do it, but we'll build it anyways to test. Oh, I guess it's fine with that. All right. And then we still have that unassigned thing. So let's see. Now we've changed the build improvement, charge for building. The banker should do that. This is definitely should have been at the county AI level long time ago. And this is better. Thank you for pointing out the out thing. And I'll look into the try thing, because I've seen that before. I feel like I might have even used that once, you know, because of ChatGPT or something. Oh, maybe not. Maybe it was in a different game. All right, so let's see. We're one step farther than we were 10 minutes ago. Decide county. Let's double check this thing though. Check enough county food. This is the banker. So the banker, we could change this also to check enough. Do we have... We should probably change the whole point is to get to this, and I haven't even gotten to it yet. That's like the top thing on my list. Check enough resource, county resource. Let's change this, the same thing. And then let's put in what resource we want. Faction resource type, resource. Instead of having these specific things. Count faction resource of type. If this is above here, Dalek, what do you do for, like, are you a programmer for a living? Okay, so this one is we're going to pass in faction resource type food. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I do know why. It seemed like that was the right way to do it, but it was not. Okay. I was thinking maybe there's a way we could do this where we get it up here, but no. There might be, but let's get rid of this Control X thing. And this wants it to be static as well. One day I'm going to get rid of that county population thing. Holy shit, I've already been streaming for an hour. Yeah, lies. This is the one I renamed. I should have just... Man, I can't believe that the thing doesn't work. I don't know why I bitch about that every time, but it's so much shittier this way. Band practice. I used to be in a couple of bands. It was quite fun. All right. Well, thank you for dropping by, and thank you for telling me about the try thing. I'm gonna look it up, and I'm gonna hopefully understand it. I might have to watch a couple of tutorials, but sometimes I can just copy and paste and then figure it out later. But I don't know. Well, thank you. Thank you also for the like and the subscription. All right, what are we up to next? I really think making these generic will be better, and also being in the county level. Okay, decide county improvements. I think we're done with this. I'm going to double check it. Check enough county resource. You know, so this isn't. We're not checking a county resource. We're checking the county's faction resource. So let's rename this enough. Check county faction resource, because we're checking at the faction level, so it's like looking for food, it's not looking for fish. So that's kind of a different thing. So yeah, we should do that. So we did that. Charge for the building. It's going to build the improvement. I'm very much happier that this is now this. County data under construction, we add it to list. We make it true. I don't like that, but whatever. Then for this, we're finding building of type. Fuck. I did it again. They're not buildings. They're county improvements of type. It's not the end of the world. So then we found this. We renamed this from whatever weird thing I was doing before. All right. So I think we're done with that. This thing. Now we're going to go to the population research, and we might be able to get rid of this research class. What do we do with this thing? So this is used. Okay, so this is used for two different things. It looks like, which is weird. This is used for removing a researcher from the assigned researcher. This is like the player would do this. No, this isn't. Okay, no, this is not the player one that I was thinking. I was thinking we were clicking something, which it probably is connected to that. But then population research. Do I have a research data? Ace, how's it going? I am working on a 2D 4X open source game in Godot. I should build this again to make sure that thing went away. And Godot in C#. I got another problem. Banker does not get for build. Yeah, that's true. Go away. You should now be county county AI county AI new, and then County AI. And then we changed how this thing worked. What do you want now? You want, oh, this is because I did that fucking static thing. What did I say? I said it was going to mess me up later. Takes place in, it's a post-apocalyptic 2D 4X game, and it takes place in North America. We're going to add this to our suppression file here. You can go back to here, and I believe I just fixed that. New. Did I not save it? Public void. This is gone, so it's fixed itself. Yes, you can be simplified. Okay. I am going to take a break here in a second, but I want to get like my brain working on the next part. So I feel this research thing feels weird. We do have a research data we could move this to instead of having this weird public research, public class that's research. So what is this thing doing? This is population research. So this actually should be in the banker. So this is another thing that counts. So it should go in the banker. And then this should be its own thing. This should go, I mean, not its own thing. It should go into the population data, I think. So this is a public class. Let's open up research data and see what we got in here. Because I think, oh yeah, it's called research item. Oh yeah, there's some strange stuff going on in this. Oh, it's because it's a resource and it started out as a public class. Let's just get rid of this crap. I think I was being lazy, but someone in a YouTube comment actually told me how to do that better. You can like select it. Now I can't remember, but you can like select all these and just right click them or control period or something, and it will make the constructor. The problem, so the skills and the perk thing that we moved over here made a lot of sense, or moved to their own resource thing. Made a lot of sense, but this isn't actually. Where is it? There it is. This is, so let's put this thing here. This needs to go to the banker, and I mean, I guess it is. I guess it is interacting with the, yeah, and then we'll move this one, and then I'm gonna go take a break. This needs to go to the research item data, and then we'll get rid of this script. But I am gonna go take a quick break, and I will be back in less than 5 minutes. Let me throw my break timer, and let me stop. The Sex Pistols are playing. Been a long time. I know you guys can't hear it. I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. My cat doesn't want to come inside the house, which is fine. I'm not upset about it. September, how's it going? Sorry, you must have uh, come and gone while I was on break. Uh, Thank you for the support. Um, okay, what are we doing here? We're gonna move this to the banker. We've made this decision. Did I turn on my break timer? I did, because the banker counts things. Banker, where are you? Whoops. Hopefully we don't need that. That was all my enums there. Let's just stick this at the top, I guess. Banker, you can go. Population research. So that's not really what this is. This is adding. So actually, maybe this shouldn't go in the banker. Maybe this should go in research data. So this is kind of like a skill check, but it's going through every county population. So this should be at the county AI level, actually. And then this part should be in the banker. That's where this should be. So this is going to, how are we doing this? Decide on that. So I do have a population AI when it goes through every population. Maybe this should go into the population AI. In fact, that's what we'll do. We'll go to the population AI. We'll save that. We'll put this. This is now a dumb name for this method. Yes, we'll put this at the top here, and we could just call this research because it's at the population level. I'll leave it as population research and see how I feel about it later. Likely renaming isn't the end of the world. So it's going to go through. Let's put a little note up on here. Goes through all the population and adds a set number to research. We're gonna have to rewrite this whole thing, by the way. It's currently broken, and I didn't notice it until the other day. So this is just adding it to the. Do I have this running? Can I run this? I don't think I can right now because I just moved shit around. Basically, it's going through and it's just adding it right here. But it shouldn't. We're gonna have to rewrite a whole big, huge chunk of this. Oh, it let me run this. So if it's going and it's adding it to basic storage, and it shouldn't be adding it to basic storage. In fact, basic storage should be done. I think I unchecked that to test something, but it's supposed to go by their like preferred work and then what they're doing. So let's fix that. It should check first their preferred work. No, it should check what they are doing and try to add that research. Then if they aren't doing anything, it should add to a random research that isn't done yet. Okay. So this is trash, but we can fix this. So at the time I wrote this, there wasn't enough things to do, but now we have 3 things, and so we can check to see if these things I think we can do this. I hope. So let's see. Population. This is in population AI. We need to fire it off from over here, from our county, actually. So this is going to be, we already have a population AI. This is going to be population AI now, if I could type it correctly. And this is going to go, the county level fires this, but it's at the let's move this thing over. Let's move this to here. Let's move this to here. Perfect. Let's save this just for the fuck of it, even though it's already saved. Back to our county. Our county research isn't needed anymore. We'll probably get rid of work as well. I don't like how work is set up. We'll move it to either population, county, or faction AI, or to a skill thing. This work is dumb. So county, decide the improvements. We want this population research. So it's going to go through everybody in the county, and it's going to, regardless, so let's do the first thing. What are they doing? We can check by their activity. So that would be, if we're checking by their activity, that's going to be, we're going to need a switch in here then. No, we won't. Yes, we will. This is going to be a pain in the ass. That's probably why I just set this temporarily like this. Let's save this thing too. Whoops. This is probably going to give us some other bugs. Let's look at our, I clicked on my thing. Let's look at our county improvement data, I suppose. There's another way we could do this. There's another way we could do this that's better. What we could do is whenever we do a skill check, so every time we do a skill check, we add research to it. Or we add research to that skill. So like if they do a skill check in farming or whatever, it would add to the research to the next farming thing. So if that's the case, we're going to need to go back to like our list of research, and those are research data items. This is going to get convoluted, but we got to do it anyways. So let's fix this shit while we're here. I'm looking in the wrong spot. Research data. So there's no skill that is attached to the research type. So we're going to want to attach a skill to it. I thought we did a skill. Like how are we, I guess we're just using research to research our research. So we're going to want to put a skill on here. Or we manually, no, that's going to suck. I was going to say we manually set each skill to a research item list where we would go down the list. But I think that we might want to do that later. But I think that an easier way to do this is by putting in a public all items skills skill. And then what is this thing? Oh, I closed my all enums on accident. Where is pin you? Put you all the way over here. So skills are of, oh, it's just a straight up name. Wonder why I wasn't doing like skill data there. Huh. All right, well, we'll go with that for now. There's probably some reason I did that, not a skill data. Oh, I guess, yeah, no, I'm overthinking this. That wouldn't make any sense to do it that way. Okay, so that we want to go back to our population AI. No, we don't. We want to go to our research data. We have this, we saved it, it's a skill type. So we're gonna go now to our research. Each one of these, we only have 3, luckily. And we gotta build this crap. Joker, how's it going? Sorry, that made me laugh. Um, I I think it should be the opposite. You get banned for quick thinking. One of my favorite things that I mean, I hate when I do it, but it still makes me laugh is when I'm like in mid sentence and I glance at chat and the next word that comes out is like the first word I saw in chat. Like somehow my brain just goes, "Yep, this is the next thing you're saying," even though I'm like reading. Yeah, and so that would be the underthinking part. Um, so yeah, we got to set these. This has been built now, so we should have a skill, and it looks like they're all defaulting to construction. So this is going to be a weird one. Maybe this isn't going to work. So this would be a skill. No, that's fine. Basic researching, we'll put in research. Basic storage. See, this doesn't really apply. Maybe we should do it by an attribute. Like if they're more into construction, they have an attribute. It would kind of, I haven't, before I started, like right after actually I started streaming, I was like, should have I done that? But I guess for this, it's, I'm not using tile maps in this, and it's another game that I'm messing around with. I've gotten to the point where, at the beginning, like 6 months ago, when people came in chat and they would be like, I just skip around on games. And I was like, I never do that. I try to never do that. And I now just skip. I have like 10 different games that have started and they'll never finish. So one of those. So we could do it by attribute. We have a preferred skill that they have, but linking the research to a skill is kind of weird because, like I said, how does basic storage? What skill is linked to labor? Yeah, actually, it would be labor, and that would be construction. I guess this works. We'll do this until we decide we didn't like it. No, but I guess 4.3, I'm telling, me and Joe were talking about this on my Discord, but, well, whatever, privately on my Discord, but 4.3 has like a new way to do tile map layers, and I'm looking forward to it. I guess a lot of people don't like it, but I don't really like how the current layers are, but I haven't even tried the new way, so I shouldn't say if I like it or not until I have done the new way. Okay, so we have these linked to a skill now. So back to our research here, population, AI. For each person, we're going to have a switch in here. I think, I'm trying to, so let's say the person, like this is all garbage down here. In fact, let's just delete all this. And then we'll just put a note in here. Have the banker add the research to the research. So if they have the skill, if their preferred skill, so they have a preferred skill and then it needs to look through, yeah, there's no way to do it with, so for each population, we need to do a for each county faction date. What are you doing? Oh, can I not use this county up here? Why don't you like this county? Bumblebite. Multi-threading. That's like a thing that I feel like lots of people who are complaining about games mention. They always say this game isn't multi-threaded, and it's like, are they sure? Do they know what they're talking about? I guess this can't be inside here. I thought I could use this county in here. We need to do it by... Oh, wait, no, it's because I'm writing this wrong. That's the problem. That's the problem here. For each research item data, in county, nope, yes, in county faction, nope, county data, faction data, research items. For each banana in a tree water. I mentioned this last time. I don't eat enough bananas. Yeah, it's kind of interesting with the, it's multi-threading and memory leaks that they always complain about. They're like, oh, this has a memory leak, and then you look in it, it's not a memory leak. Though I am scared of memory leaks. So, someone came into chat on Wednesday and asked if anyone did 3D models, and I thought of you. I don't know if they were looking to like hire someone, or what. I don't know if you do freelance stuff, or if they probably were not wanting to hire people. They wanted somebody to do something for free. That seems to be a common thing. So let's see. So for each county population, we need to go through every research item. Man, there's no easier way to do this. I guess there isn't. We just got to do it, and then we'll deal with it later. Memory lake. I wish we named things in real life like we do online. I live in Portland. That's like a boring name. But if it was named like it was online, it would have a much better name. Yeah. There was a guy who came into Discord though. I thought at first he wanted free stuff, but no, he just wanted support, like mental, like, do it, man, you can do it. And I thought that was kind of cool. He was like, I think he felt like he wasn't doing things right, but he was just needed someone else to be like, yeah, that's the way you do it. Do it. So I'm definitely not funny. Okay, so for each, I guess this is so that we're gonna go county. If the county population preferred skill is equal to, oh wait, how is this list organized? I think we just go through and add them all. So no, we need to do this differently. If research item is research done equals false, we can do equals true. Then we need to return out of this part of the loop. Is this going to work? We need to go to the next one. I think we can just return here. And then we go else. This thing needs to be up here. Research item data skill. So if this equals that, what is going on with this? We got an extra thing here. No, wait. What is... we don't need this is what's going on. If the research item, we get out of there. Oh, this is a skill data dot skill. There we go. I said, twog. How does second for each loop work? Doesn't it take the object from the first loop that is the... Yeah, so it's going to have this county population, and then we're going to have this research. So for the first county population, it's going to check every single research item in the county, I hope, and check these things. And then if it's, then it goes to the next county population, and the county population. This is a list. I mean, I guess it says list on here, thankfully. I try to put if they're lists in their name. Then it goes to the next one, and it checks all of the research item. This is going to be a lot of checking, though, but there's got probably a better way to do this. This is, yeah, this is going to be a problem. So if it's their preferred skill equals their research data, then we're going to have the banker do this here, which we haven't written that yet. And then else, oh, we can't do it this way. We can, but no, we need up here. We need up here, we need, fuck. So basically what we need to do is assign this, and then if there's nothing assigned, if it's null. So we're going to need a research item data, research item data 1. Now we'll call it population. We'll call it what population is researching, and this is going to equal null. And GD script, if you ask Mr. Chat GPT to use static typing, it will use it, but it doesn't static type for loops. I don't even know what that means. You're talking about like this. You know, I saw another thing that was like very upset about doing this. I can't remember where it was like a tutorial or something where it was just like, don't do this, you just put var, and I was just like, I like it because it helps me bug check, because you know you get a thing here. Okay, so if this equals this, then we're gonna go what equals research item, and then at the very bottom, at the very bottom, we're gonna do this. Oh, you know, the chat GPT hates to do that. I'll tell it to, and it will do it for a while, and then it will forget, and it will go back to just putting var. I don't know. Maybe it's because it's pulling, you know, it stole all the information from all of its learning from Stack Overflow, and a lot of times on Stack Overflow, I think when they're answering the question, they don't actually know. Like the person asking the question didn't tell what the variable is, so they're answering. And I first used to be like, why are they using var so much? And it's because I don't think they know what the variable type is. Oh, it's always just for loops, huh? I wonder why. You got him. Is your chat GPT a dude? Mine's an it. Mine's a thing. I like to call it a thing a lot. So what population is researching will be this. So it goes through this whole loop, or this whole loop. It is a whole loop. If it's researching, it busts out and it goes to the next one. And if this will give them the research, and then after this loop's done, we're gonna go like if this is probably like a much better. No, if this is equal to null, there's probably a much better way to do this. But maybe I'll ask ChatGPT actually. If this thing's equal to null, then we're gonna do a random. Man. Okay, we're gonna do this differently. So we need like a temporary list here. I guess that's true. I guess that's true. We need a temporary list that it basically just goes through, and because yeah, this will be better too. So there's an issue there. So there's gonna be like a ton of research eventually, and this going through every single one, and if the research is done, every person is gonna have to go through every one of these and do it. So I think what we should do first is we should make a list of research item data called researchable research, and it's going to equal new. Oh wait, we got to do the bracket thing because we're using 8. And then it will go through. In fact, no, this needs to be higher up. This needs to be up here. And then this needs to be, we're going to copy this and we're going to put it up here. So the first time it runs this, it's going to go through all of these. I don't know why I'm manually putting that over there. And it's going to add them if, don't I have this right here? If this is this, if this equals false, then we're gonna researchable research dot, yep, that exact thing right there. So then we're gonna have a list. So it will go through, get a list of all the research that isn't done. And then, how do you guys like examples that don't show what namespace they use? You mean like in tutorials? There's a lot of tutorials I've downloaded that they have their all of their tutorials in one giant file, and they are all broken apart by namespace, and I find that infuriating sometimes because they use multiple, they like connect them all, and they're like, so they'll have like tools and things, like they'll be using tools, and they'll be like, well, what the fuck is tools? And then you're like, because their tutorial that you just watch is like one little tiny chunk of code, but it's like has tools dot something in it, and you go in there and then it's this fucking gigantic thing. You're like trying to like figure it out. But yeah, if they have different, like, I don't care. I actually don't. I wouldn't even put this in here, except that this is now asking me to do it. But if it's necessary, then it's not. Or do you mean like when you're trying to figure something out and it's missing like the systems generic, and you're like you're like, why is I copied and pasted this code? It's not, doesn't have it. Okay. So we're gonna have this list. Then we're gonna go through. Nope, that list is the same. And then we're gonna change this. Oh yeah. That actually happened to me someone recently. And I was doing, in Visual Studio you can do alt whatever and it will give you a list of things, but it couldn't figure out what was missing. And so then I had to like basically do more research. Yeah, no, I wish they all had what they were using at the top, especially if they're using like bizarre stuff. Not bizarre stuff, but stuff that I don't know. So it's bizarre to me. Things I don't know. Okay, so we're gonna have this list, and this list is gonna be researchable research. And then if this is here, it adds it in. And then now if it's here, it adds it to that. But if it's null, we're going to have to break these into tiers. Right now, we don't have that done. I'm going to put a note in because it's not going to work. It's not going to work at all. We need to break the research list into tiers. And I kind of thought I had a tier. You know, I must have renamed it. I originally had it tier-based, but we need to break. So the problem with it, so we don't want it to be randomly selecting shit that's way down the tier list, basically, is the thing. Because we're going to have them randomly pick. This is for the faction list. Faction list, and also each research item should be in a tier, which I think that part is already done. But them being in their own list. So like basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna have it so if there's nothing, if they don't have a preferred skill, it's gonna randomly pick a skill for them to research, and I'm just gonna do it like from this research length, you know, randomly length, whatever. And so if we had all of them in one big list, it would be picking stuff that was way down the list. So this is going to be an int random research number. How would we just say whatever? Random research number, and it's going to equal random. I got to do a random here though. I'm just going to put it right here. Random. Fuck you. Random. Oh. Random equals. Oh, see, this thing doesn't know what random is, really? Using system equals bracket. No, equals new. And then random. Next. I feel like I'm doing this random wrong. I'm not, though. Random next between 0 and researchable research count, not length. And then we're going to go what population is researching is going to equal researchable research random research number. It looks impressive. I thought I was using Godot's thing, but I guess not. I did it. I like literally watched a bunch of not tutorials. I basically went through and compared the two because I was curious which one was better, and I thought I was using the Godot one because I wanted to. I can't remember. I think that's what it wanted. No, it doesn't. What is your problem? Method name expected. My problem is I think this is supposed to be like this. Yeah, that's the problem. I've been doing that a lot lately, is putting the whatevers instead of the whatevers. And unnecessary assignment of that. So this goes through and does all of that, and then we're going to add the research thing. A PGC family RNG. I remember reading all about it, and I don't know what PCG is. Godot PCG RNG. Yeah, I remember reading on here, and there was like an not an argument, a discussion over which one was best, and I thought I picked the Godot one, but I guess I didn't. I don't remember. So I'm generally I've go err on the side of the C# version. All right, this is quite a lot of weird stuff, but okay, then we need to write this banker code. Banker. Public void add population research amount. We could make this so that this works for both. The leader add hero research. See, this shouldn't be here. Increase research. We could do this. Oh, we were going to tear this apart. Let's make this. Let's make this. Let's just write this and then we'll decide because we got to tear the whole. The start of the stream, I was like, this is what we're going to be working on today. And we haven't even gotten to it. It's been wonderful. You know, at the beginning of switching over from Unity to Godot, I read some guy's big long post in where he was talking with the Godot guy. Joker might remember this too, because I remember talking with him about it. Where he was basically saying a lot of the wrappers for C# were bad in Godot, and they just needed to be improved. Like it wasn't like let's throw away Godot and don't use the C# person or part of it. But it just needs to be rewritten, and he was kind of hinting that he maybe could help, but he didn't really want to. Because he didn't want to rewrite it, because I think it was ray tracing, and so that made me kind of more skeptical of using the built-in Godot stuff over the C# versions. Like, because what do I know? I don't know if it's good or bad or whatever. And like I was saying, it wasn't like he was like, "Oh, this is crap. Let's just give up on it." It just needed to be like improved. I think it was the ray tracing thing. But I wonder whatever happened with that. That was like a year ago, I feel like. Was that a year ago? Was it 5 years ago? Every time I say it was 6 months ago, it was 25 years ago. All right, so this, you know what? No, let's write it this other way. Increase research. Increase research amount. We're going to need a county population in here. We can just rewrite this right now, and then we can use the other one. County population, and then we're also going to need an amount, an int of amount, and we'll add that in. that's yeah, I do say that too. The other day, yeah, I'm trying not to say that because it sounds like I meant the other day, but it really was 10 years ago. Oh, I'm back to Marilyn Manson, I think. I sure am. Skipping you, Marilyn Manson. I'm sorry. I know you guys can hear my music. So if what we're going to do, why do we need the county population? We need the county population to, why do we need the county population? We don't need the county population. We need the faction data. and it's going to be faction data. And so we're going to go, no, we don't. We need the research item. Item data is what we need. And then we're going to go research item data dot amount of research done. Yeah, plus equals amounts. Don't forget that plus, like I did that one day. That was bad. Then we're going to do that same thing with the bonus. Add here. Is that the banker? I just wrote it. I forget what I called it. Something. I thought I called it bonus something. Add leader bonus influence. Okay, we can't use that. This should probably. Oh man, I think that guy the other day. It's the one article that put. Yeah, it's you. So I'm always complaining about what I call like developer brain and developer, where like they're kind of rude people just in general. IT guys have the same stereotype. IT guys are always just rude assholes, know-it-all rude assholes. But you would figure other developers would be used to dealing, like other high-level developers, because the guy he was kind of rude. But I figured, I think it was off-putting, but it's also, I don't. So this goes back to like a much higher level of argument. I don't think criticism is necessarily bad if it's put in a nicer way, and it's also not this just sucks. Because if you just say this sucks, then there's like, well, how are they supposed to fix it? But if you say this sucks and here's a way that could improve it, that's okay. And that guy was definitely putting in this is the way to improve it. Joker, and so that is the especially with the IT guys, there's like that famous meme where the guy shows up, like the people call from the server and they're like, server's down, and he's like, are you sure it's on? And they're like, yes, I'm positive it's on. And so he like drives 3 hours and he goes and he turns it on and then he drives home. There is like a lot of that, but this should probably be either in the perk data for the bonus, or it should be a generic perk bonus check, or both. You think that pushed people away from Godot? I think so. I maybe it just is more important to me than it is to other people. I think the fact that Unity is run by a company, and same with Unreal. I know Unreal right now, like the company has been very good and blah 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 blah, but the chance of Unreal going the Unity route and just becoming a bunch of shitbags is there. While it's much, I mean, that could happen to Godot too, but I feel like the chance of it happening with Godot is minuscule compared to a private company. And with Godot, let's say that the leaders turn just total scumbags, we could just fork it, so he wasn't like really rude. He was just kind of factual, if that makes sense. Yeah. Oh, they like people jumped on that bandwagon and were like, "Oh, this is why Godot sucks." I could totally see that. Was that me and you, Joker, that were talking about those? Yeah, it was. He had some. Here, I'm gonna take this from our private conversation and post it live. Here, Joker. Can I open this thing up and bring it over? Yeah, let me download this. Oh wait, I can open it in the browser. like this style of um, it is um, like this style of YouTube video, like templates are dead. Like it's like, oh my god, template or tile maps are dead. What the fuck? I better click on it. But they're just different, and but it's gonna make me click on it. But wait, this is games whatever. That's funny. I like him. Um, but it's kind of like a clickbaity thing to get people, and so I could totally see where um, they're going for like a clickbaity title to get people to read their thing of why Godot sucked or whatever. There's that one, if you Google, like, I forget what brought it up, but basically there's a I think the name of the video is "Why Does Godot Exist?" And if you Google that, there's some idiot made a dumb video, and he has 500,000 views on it. Every other one of his videos have 6 views, and he's just arguing with people in the comments. But that was such a good clickbait title that everyone clicked on it. I clicked on it. I wanted to hear what he had to say because I was confused what that even, like, I didn't even understand why does it exist? And he was just coming from a place of ignorance. So, uh, but anyways, yeah, I don't know. What do we do? This should probably, yeah. So that's a completely different thing though that I just got sidetracked because I saw it there. We're gonna get rid of this suppression message because I named something. So back to this thing though. Have the banker add the research. So we're gonna have the banker. This is going to be an increased research amount. It will add this, but we actually want it to be plus some other thing. Does the population give them a bonus? Okay, so this is going to be different. So the population doesn't get bonuses. Shouldn't they, though? For population research, the population doesn't get bonuses. They should, though. It should just be a very minuscule amount. So how am I going to do that if I'm going to have 2 different bonuses for the same check? So I'm going to have a method. I'm going to have 2 different. I can do one method, but with 2. So we're going to have, this is going to be called research. What did I call the other one? Bonus. Increase research researcher. Where's the influence one? Add leader bonus influence. Add research. It's called add research bonus, but I guess it is adding it. And it's not the researcher's bonus. This is going to be bizarre. I think I'm going to write this differently. And we'll combine it later. Add population research bonus. Whoops. Population research bonus. It is kind of interesting when you do try to get Godot news. That actually the Games from Scratch guy usually has some pretty good news for it. But it is like if you Google, you get weird. Google sucks these days though. So I think what we're gonna do with this is we'll have this a separate thing. I'll put a note in. This may be able to be combined with other bonuses. So this is not going to be checking against their research. See, I've made it. I made this so complicated for no apparent reason. Um, so at this point, we're going to need to do it like a skill check. Um, oh, this is so complicated. Actually, it's not that complicated. Uh, yeah, it's not that complicated. Okay. It's kind of complicated. Okay, it's a pain in my ass. This is what we're going to do. County, but we don't even know the county population. Um, I don't know what this song is, but I like it a lot. It's Danny Gold. I don't even know who that person is. Santini Gold. You guys can't hear my music. All right, so this is why I'm like sitting here spinning my wheels. We don't have to do this, but it would be nice to have if the population. So the population does a little bit of research on their own just all the time. We've already figured out what the research is. And that's this research item we're passing in. And this is the amount that they researched. But I was just thinking it'd be nice if they got a bonus if they did a skill check. And we were going to add this in through here, but that means I need to know who the person is. And there's an easier way to do this. So we get rid of this. We add that, and then we increase research amount bonus instead of, we'll make these separate and then we'll figure it out because then we'll know what we need, etc., etc. And I would like to not have this. Oh yeah, it's definitely the concept of tile maps will never. It'd be interesting if I don't know. So the problem I have with tile maps is that I hate making them. It's not like I'm not against. I like the idea that you just pick from whatever and you go to whatever. I just don't like making the actual tile set itself. Um, so we're gonna need. How did I do this below? How did this guy? Oh, because we just need the faction data, and the faction data tells them who our leader is. Well, this needs a bunch of other shit. So that's why I keep like thinking about this, is because I wanted this to be all one thing. Let's see, it's the new Misfits again. What the fuck, man? Um, so I'm just gonna write it like this, and if I can think of a better. No, the grids are fine. It's making the actual tile set itself. I hate it. I hate it so much because I don't want to manually drag little squares around, and so then I want to use some online service, but then it like, some free online service that then the tile map comes out weird, or it's got to be a PNG, or Inkscape doesn't have an easy to use tiling thing. I put all my stuff in layers, and it's just a big pain in my ass. So we're gonna go. This also needs to pass in a research item, and I'm going to take a break here in a second. Let's move this down here so that everyone can see it. Let's see this. You know, it's kind of funny. I didn't even think about the fact that that guy might have driven people away from Godot. Um, I know that when the Unity Godot thing happened, um, a lot of people switched over and then switched back to Unity afterwards. Like a lot of the people I used to watch on YouTube switched from Unity to Godot and switched back eventually. Photo P, I don't know what that is. Is that Photo P? I don't like GIMP at all. I think GIMP is terrible. Huh, maybe I'll check this out. It's got this stuff. Huh, never heard of it. It's free and open source, it looks like. So there's also, when I started my whole game development journey, you know, whatever fuck they call it. Um, this guy actually, me and him talked on Discord voice after I did a stream once. It was very early on, and he was wanting to give me some advice or whatever, and explain some stuff that he couldn't explain in chat because I didn't understand some basic concepts. Um, it was really nice. But one of the things he pointed out to me, which I had never thought about, is that a lot of the people who make tutorials don't actually know what they're doing. And they're doing it for views over teaching people stuff. And I think so. A lot of the people who switched over from Unity to Godot also were not getting the views that they used to get in Unity. And so then they switched back to Unity. Um, and so the people who are not doing it, who are doing for the views, they're going to get a lot more views on Unity. Um, so I think, uh, and that's why I'm always like, I never do tutorials because I don't feel like I know enough. I got to turn down my music. It keeps getting louder. Um, that you guys can hear. Uh, so after that, I noticed more about some of the people who are making tutorials don't actually know what they're doing, and that's a bummer. But they also are just doing it for, like, they have other things, but they're making money off making tutorials, and so that Unity is better for that. So like they switch back over, blah blah blah. I don't do tutorials. I've been thinking about doing like the most basic C# tutorial, uh, like the most basic, because it's like the questions I had at the beginning, like what is this thing, you know, what is this thing, what is a public class, like that type of thing, which I think I understand now. Maybe not. Okay, I gotta take a quick break though. I'm gonna take a break and I'll be back in less than 5 minutes. I'm getting all sidetracked talking about. Don't get me talking about unions or something. We did a Godot union, the game developer union. Anyways, I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Took me a little longer than I expected because my cat was standing there and it wouldn't take its tail out of the doorway. It wanted me. It wanted me to smush its tail. It wanted me. It is pretty crazy how unique 3D projects are, and that's actually we were talking about that on my Discord too. Um, and I think that was in the public Discord part. Um, um, this thing. This is Twitter. Twitter. Um, there's I dislike Twitter a lot, but there's a tweet on here. I just dislike Elon Musk. So, um, but I can't even look at it. But they were talking about graphics. The Godot engine they need to move away from Twitter. But I think Godot can do 3D stuff, and they're improving their 3D stuff. In fact, that 4.3 has different whatchamacallits things, not engines. What are they called? What are they called? I can't remember what they're called. Um, like DirectX, OpenGL, whatever. Uh, has more of those at 4.3. So yeah, it is quite strange that there's the 3D thing. All right, so increase research amount bonus. We're gonna need the county population. We're gonna do random. We're gonna need the random. We're gonna need an int. That is not int at all. My fingers are not on my keyboard right. We're gonna need int. Random skill check number. Actually, we have a skill check. We have a thing in our skill data now. So we can go skill data equals new. We can go skill data check. And then we're going to do research skill. Is this going to work? Now we need a skill data in here. So this is what we need to do. We need a county population dot skills dot research skill brackets. We need to check this. What else do we need to put in here? Oh, we're just bringing in the skill amount of level. That's all we're sitting in. And this is going to return what? A bool? Yeah. So if this big long thing is equal to true, then we're going to do something. Why are you doing this to me? Because I have a capital I over here, huh? And then we'll KD this thing. So this, if it returns true with the research data item on this person's skill, then we got to give them a bonus. We don't need this random shit in here anymore. We have to make sure we pass in the right research data, I guess. Plus equals amount, and that's all we need. This is a lot of things to pass in. So let's go back to where we're doing this. This is under population. Yeah, so we're going to go banker, banker. I wonder where you're supposed to put this stuff. Like, are you supposed to put this at the top up here, or where I'm about to use it? I don't know. Banker dot add. No, it was increase. Why did I change this to increase instead of add? And what do you want? We need a research item. What population is researching? And then the amount is going to be some global something. Research, population, research. Researcher, research increase. Do we have population research increase? We sure do. That's the amount. And then after that, we're going to, now I can rename this to add. I'm just going to say add research amount. And then we're going to go to here, banker dot, I said increase research amount bonus, and we'll put this. We need the county population in here. We need what population is researching, and then we're going to need a new globals. Instance population, not a capital P, population research bonus. And that doesn't, well, we're going to spell it right. And then we're going to go like this. And I wonder if I can just alt, generate a method, generate a variable. That's what I want it to do. Internal, it is read-only. I don't know why it's making it a getter setter. And then we can make this. And we're going to move this somewhere, basically. There's a spot. Somewhere, hopefully, it's right here. This is going to equal 1 for now, I guess. They're going to get a duplicate. I wonder, this just popped in my head. I wonder if Bumblebite, because you're like a 3D guy, if you have more power, you're one of the few 3D guys, if you have more power in the Godot community, meaning that like you could demand things, demand changes to the engine or whatever. It's crazy. At my job, the old owner used to demand things, and we'd be like, from our vendors and stuff, and we'd be like, they're not going to do that, man. And he's like, just ask them. And surprisingly large amount of time, they'd be like, yeah, all right, we'll do that. It'd just be like ridiculous demands, like pay less money. Okay, so these are those static things. I think I need to test this, though, because I feel like I just wrote a bunch of shit that has no tests. Godot is low on cash. They were making bank for a while. It had like the development fund thing. I think it's right here. Yeah, like when before Unity, I think it went up like 20 grand or 30 grand a month. And I don't think it's gone back down. And at first I was like, they should hire more developers, but I think they should do a nest egg, which is, I think what they did is they put a nest egg for days, for the thin days. All right, I do like this better than what it used to be, but I also think that I've just written myself a big pile of spaghetti to eat for later. Later, I'm gonna be like, what the fuck is this? Is it doing something? Are you doing something? You are doing something. Everything looks normal here. I guess we should click this research. We don't want to assign a researcher, but we're missing. Oh, I guess it's over here. I mean, we can assign a researcher. It's not going to do anything right now. It could still do something. It doesn't look like it does anything right now. Let's wait for a day. I was going to speed up the time, but we're about to hit a day here. Yeah, something happens. Good God, a lot of something's happened. Let's do something here. Is that the Raycast guy? Um, wants to build amount of research done, amount of research done, amount of research done is not okay. So it actually is working for that, but this I need to put some things in. Yeah, it's that's another thing that comes up a lot is like people are like, oh, they're gonna abandon the C sharp thing, but I haven't seen any indication of that, and I don't know if that's just like to get people to rage comment. I did read one thing on Godot, which was or on GitHub that was supposed to be a discussion about changing C sharp into an extension, and that was some rage. People were flipping out. And I was like, holy shit. Let's put some things in here. Um, does this know who's researching it? Like, as in what county? It's not. So let's do this. Uh, I want to know. I don't want to go through each person because it's just going to fill up the log, but maybe we should. Let's do. This is on the county level. I guess I gotta do it at the person level. You know what I could do, actually? We could put in a temporary thing. Oh, this is gonna happen first, though. So it goes in order of faction. Actually, I think it goes in order. And this is a public class. We'd have to call it from somewhere. We can call it from here. We can just put a little. We can put it at the end right here. Day start for each research item data. Research item data in faction data. Do we have that here? We don't have that here. We do have that here. Research items. GD prints. Research. Let's put $. Faction data. Faction name. Has research in research item data, research name, research. This is going to fill up our thing as well, but it will be less full. Research level. Amount of research done. Why did I call it that? Why did I call it that? Let's move this down here just so we can see it all. We're missing something. Okay, now we're gonna let this rip for like a day. Well, a week, not a day. No. Yeah, I think they do need to try to attract more people that are into helping out with the development too. And I was saying this before, Joker does tutorials. I feel like they also need to try to pay people who do tutorials because to get to tutorials that aren't like the tutorials we were talking about earlier. Um, to get people to switch to Godot and stay on Godot, they need tutorials for everything. And Unity does have that thing. I'm scrolling here. AI faction wants to build So AI Faction 1's basic production is 500, which is what it should be because it's done. This is at 42 and this is at 47. Uh, Faction 2 has 72 and 78. I wonder why theirs is so much higher. Faction 3, this is 14. Man, these people suck at... Oh, there's probably a lot less of them. This is going up, though? Let's make sure this is going up. Yeah, 11 and 49, 42, 47. 42 and 47. So that is going up. Maybe I do want to look at the people and make sure that they're testing this. This was just, let's comment this out and put a comment in here though. This is just for testing. And then you can go here. That was the city that should get a fellowship. Leninsky? I'm saying that guy's name wrong. That was guesswork getting through. Array. Oh, you were working on that the other day, weren't you? So I actually think their documentation is only okay on Godot. You get used to it. I actually think the documentation on Unity is only okay. Earlier Joker posted a bunch of vomit, and I was like, why did he post that? And then I was like, oh, it's because we were talking about Unity. So I guess I'm gonna have to do this because we need to know like if this process is working. And I probably should break these into separate methods too, but I'm not going to. So we don't care about this one so much. Yeah, we don't care about that one so much, but let's do this. County population, first name, and I do regret having it broken into two different names. Preferred skill is having them research item, research name. And I think that will be enough information for that. And then we'll put down here. What? Whoops. County population, first name is randomly researching. There's only two choices at this point. What population is researching? Research name. This thing. There we go. And then I guess we're just gonna flood the thing with things here. Well, I guess we only need to let it run a couple of days. Flood the thing with things. So I feel like I both have not made that much progress today, but at the same time also have made a bunch of progress. We'll let it. There we go. That's enough days. Man, this between me hitting space and it actually pausing is really, really far in between. Steve preferred skill is having them research basic race research. Patricia is randomly researching storage. Preferred skill is having them research basic research. Is randomly researching storage. Do I have a place where we can see their preferred skill? Did I put that in here? Because it would be nice to know. Preferred skill is scavenge. So who the fuck are we on here? We need to get to... I didn't put their thing in here. Cat, like, is that a streamer or a YouTuber? It'd be nice to get some more people to move over and stick. I know a lot of people did move over. I wonder if the Caves of Cud people stayed, because I know they were messing around with it. Let's see. So Pamela, Jacqueline, and whatever. Those aren't my people. Let me move over. I'm going to put that on the other. And we're going to look for Barbara. Barbara, where are you? Barbara. There you go. Barbara Barnes, Eric. These are our people. Research is their preferred thing. So Barbara's preferred skill is having them research basic research. Eric is randomly researching storage. Eric, what are you up to? Your preferred work is farm, and we currently don't have a research that it connects to that. So there's a problem with this whole thing that I just thought of. It's currently checking their preferred work, but what happens if they're not doing their preferred work? What happens if they're doing something else? And the idea behind this is that they would be doing what they're doing is, yeah, it shouldn't be their preferred work. It should be what they're doing. And then when does this run? Because that does matter. It needs to happen after the day's over. Hour 0. Set day. This is all wrong. That one guy. That one guy, is that the guy who has the first-person shooter? That game actually is looking like it's progressing pretty far. What is the name of that game? It's called Kebab Skull? Is that the one I'm thinking of? There was a different one, and that's another one that we were... Mirror Quake? Is that the one I was thinking of? Godot game. It's bringing up tutorials, of course. I don't know how that would bring up what I was thinking of. It was like an extraction. It was like a Tarkov game. This person's there. This has been asked so many times. So many times. I've watched the video. Is it Road to Vostok? I don't want to watch a video while I'm streaming, but I think it might be Road to Vostok. Whoops. This is, I think, the one that I was thinking of. Yeah, so this is all Godot. I have not streamed this ever. Is this even for sale yet? Well. Where's my Steam? I bet you this is already on my wish list. I was surprised it wasn't on there already. Okay, maybe it wasn't. Let's see. Road to... Yeah, I want to check this out. And I've watched Splattercat's videos on it, and it looked like it was pretty, it's a first-person shooter with this, a single developer. It's what you would expect. Like, it's not like there's... Man, I played some of that. I bought that Gray Zone Warfare, which is like a team thing, and they're using Unreal or something, and that thing is jank as fuck. And they have so many issues with like griefers and stuff, and It's the whole thing is it's not the engine. This is the problem. It's the people making it is basically what I'm saying. um, I'm actually like that game kind of makes me angry because I have a feeling that developers are gonna abandon it. Bunch of streamers streamed it saying this has a lot of potential. It's gonna be great. And I even watched like some people were very critical about it. And I was like, oh, I'll buy it, check it out. And it is got some issues, and they're very slow at development. They had people griefing people, just like insane amounts of grief, and like they should have like oh yeah, we'll fix it in a couple weeks, and it just made me not want to play it ever. And like the whole community has like 30 people in it. I think they'll abandon it. They'll be like, this is not, I have no proof that they would abandon it, but I think that they're going to. This is all wrong. Everything I wrote is trash. What we need to do instead, well, first let's go back to here because there's more trash problems here. This is all different now. I rewrote this on Wednesday. So we have two things. And I don't like that that's called set day. We have two things now. So let's go back to this. This is called, so there's got to be, this has to be done differently. We're going to do end of day. I'm glad that I noticed this now instead of later and wondered why the order was all off. I'm going to unsubscribe from these things. And then we're going to do start of day. Private void start, or day start. And we're gonna do this here, and we're gonna save that. We're going to okay, so the start of day, no, this should be the end of day. That should be end of day. Work day over is end of day. What does check for work do? This is the one that I said like looks stupid. This is a dumb name. Yeah, see, it goes through this. Okay, so this should be start of day. This is the one with the dumb name. And this can go, we can copy this thing. All right, this has to be in a specific order, and we're going to be fixing this order as we go, but I totally forgot that I changed this. Well, I didn't really forget, I just didn't do it. I guess both. I both forgot and didn't do it. And then also we want like the county to go first, then the population. And this is, we're going to move this work. We are probably going to get rid of work. Okay, so back to this. The county decides which buildings it's going to approve. At the end of the day, it's going to check that and so it's not, no one's been changed. Their buildings haven't been changed or anything. The faction should have already checked, assigned the next, pick the research they want to do, which is just right now, it's just that thing where it just picks the one. And then the population research happens, which is kind of what we've been fucking around with here. So then the population research is going to do this thing where it adds to the list basically everything we've done today. But it shouldn't be preferred skill, actually. It should be what they're doing. So if and at this point they're not doing anything. On the first day this thing hits first and then it goes, like, so it's supposed to be at the end of the day. So that's why it's hitting first, because then everything gets assigned. So the first day it's like assigning stuff, and the second, whatever. You don't get paid until you're done working. So this should be our current activity, if this equals, man, that just threw a huge wrench in this whole problem here. Who's um definitely many developers when they get issues. So are you talking about the what I was talking about? Was I didn't glance at chat for a while with the gray zone thing. I think they should have been more prepared, but I think the YouTube community, you know how like there's all these games that are basically driven by streamers, and so they get 50,000 views or 500,000 views, and so they think the game's going to be a hit. And I think what happened was they probably made them a lot of money off the initial sales, but I think it dived quickly. Um, yeah, and that game it's hosted server. The games are hosted on a server, which is that's additional server cost. It's a monthly fee that you got to be making that much money, and if you're not from sales, the whole thing's a disaster. Then you abandon your game. You're working at a deficit or whatever. So how are we gonna do this here? Research items are not linked by activity. I just linked them by skill, which they should be. God, I mean, this is so much more complicated than what's necessary for right now. I mean, we'll pay off later, I hope. So man, that was, preferred work was nice, but it actually shouldn't be preferred work because it already sets, it already sets, it tries to put them in their, if they have a preferred skill, it tries to already assign them to do that job. And so if we just go by like what job they're doing, um, which would be assigned. So at the beginning, you're going to get a bunch of construction, and then like because you're building a bunch of shit. So let's see your job that's assigned to you. How am I doing that? I'm assigning it to the actual. Where am I looking for here? County population. Where do you go? But that doesn't. You can get the skill from it. You can get the skill from their county population or their current construction, because county improvement has a skill that's attached to it. And then you could get the skill from, man, what a pain in the ass. Okay, I think the way that it should be done is differently now, because this is going to be a pain in the ass. Okay, so instead of going through each one, yeah, it's that there's the the server space thing is, so like Helldivers, they don't have their own servers. It's just you're playing on the other person's computer. Like they just have it for you to find matches, um, and that's all that's necessary. I mean, I'm sure they have other servers too for some things, but not every game is a server of theirs. It's they use some sort of weird peer-to-peer thing. They say you're not all hosted on someone else's computer. And I feel like that's the way that it goes to a lot now, is that you're hosted on someone else's computer. I think, yeah. So like I streamed Mech Warrior the other night, and that's hosted on like, you host it. One person is the host, and the other person connects, and you use Steam to connect to each other. So they don't need Mech Warrior doesn't have to pay for server space. So this is what we're gonna have to change this to. This is all fucked up now because of that one thought there. I guess I thought about it briefly earlier and then it immediately left my brain. We're gonna want to have to go. So when workday over for population, we go in here, complete scavenging, and then we send. Look, this one says complete scavenging, complete building, and then we have check for building complete. Why isn't this naming consistent? I don't know if I spelled consistent right. So what we'll do instead is we're going to have, we already know the county population. We already know it's scavenging. We'll fire off the research from here instead of doing it from at this level, at the county level. We'll do it. It will happen when they're done. And if they're idle, fuck. If they're idle, they're going to do the random research. All right, so you got to go. We're probably going to get rid of work, comma, meaning move the code to another script. So we're already going to know the county population. We don't need to go through. God damn it. I made this so much more complicated by doing it this way. I just want to do it the best way, though. So let's go back to this county AI. Where was all this garbage? That was under workday over for population. So this is going to happen first. They're not going to. So let's go to complete scavenging. For each population in there, if their thing equals scavenge, is generating resources, is scavenging resources, generate resources. So, oh, that's not. Is generating scavenged resources. So this is at the end of the day. It's going to update their next activity, which we actually don't need anymore. We haven't gotten to that part where we're fixing that. This is going to be the current activity. So we generate the scavenged resources from here. No, we gotta go back to here. Fuck, this is so convoluted now. Where was this crap? This was county workday over for population, and look how long this thing is. So this goes through each population thing. We know it's scavenging, so we're going to go back to our population AI. We're going to pass in a skill. We're not going to do this part. We're going to have a new method. I'm just going to write a new one and we can get rid of this other thing. Population daily research. We'll just call it that for now. And then what are we passing in here? Maybe I'll write this over in this other thing, and then I'll move it over to where it's supposed to go, because I need to look at this. It's after the generating scavenge research. Whoops. We're going to need it right here. So we know the population. So we're going to need to pass in. See, this is an activity. We're going to need to pass in a skill, though. skills, skill, and then we're going to need to pass in the county population. Do we need the county population? We do. Let's put in the county population first. Population, county population, comma. Okay, so we're going to pass in when we have here, we're going to already know it's the skill that we're checking. And we need the county population. So go back to here. We need this list, though. What a pain in the ass. Maybe I'll do this tomorrow, and maybe I'll think about a better way, a better way to do this. So when it's done, though, I'm gonna appreciate it. You know, it's so we pass in the skill. Man, there's another problem with this whole way to do it is that it's gonna, let's say there's two things that use farming skill. It's gonna hit the first one and it's gonna do that one. So all of it's gonna go to that one until it's done. We'll have to organize stuff really, really particularly, uh, which is gonna kind of suck. I feel like there has to be a better way to do this. So if we made a dictionary by skill, oh my God. Let me think about this. I'm going to save this stuff. I'm going to make this so it's not bugging out though. Let's just do this. And then I'm just going to yammer for a bit, I guess. What is this list that we currently have? I need faction data. I wish you could do that. I wish you could click that. Can I click this? No, it brings up this dumb thing down here. Faction data, where are you at? So this is just a list of research items. If we made it a dictionary by skill, it wouldn't work because then we're back to this problem of just having a skill, one research item per skill, which isn't gonna work. We can have different lists. We could have a list. Holy shit. We could have a dictionary list by skill. This actually isn't a bad idea here. Hear me out. Hear me out. We have a dictionary list of every skill that the faction has. So per tier. So for tier 1 skills, if the dictionary is farming and there's 5 farming research items, they would all be in that list. Then when the person's working on farming, we would do a random check between all of those farming skills. This is the concept that I'm trying to think of or trying to replicate in code. The concept is that when you're working on a job, you sometimes think about ways to improve it. And that is a tiny amount of generated research that goes to these items that your faction hasn't researched. It's supposed to be a very little amount, but so that's that. And then if you're idle, you get the chance to just think about whatever the fuck you want. And so that would go to like a random research that would slowly push it forward. And also I'm going to have research that isn't that great. That's going to like be ideas for your country or your faction. And so that's be what you as the player, you'd be like, I probably don't want that, but it's going to slowly get researched. And then when it happens, it might cause repercussions sort of. not like terrible repercussions, but just like one of the ones I'm thinking of is elitism, where like your heroes start to think about how they're better than other people because they're the faction leaders and stuff, which that isn't even in here. We haven't even gotten to that part where the heroes, if they're not researching, they need to think about stuff. Holy fuck. But we could use this stuff we're writing to do that. I'm going to put a note in here too. Don't forget about the idle heroes researching other things. Maybe even if a hero's researching, maybe they should also produce these random little things. Because there's supposed to just be a little tiny bit that's going to here. And maybe they should think about weird stuff. I already had my 1 cup of coffee. But no, I definitely, it will pan out. It's just, this is another thing and if I was a professional, I would have plotted all this stuff out like in pieces of paper. But instead I'm just figuring it out as I go. It's fine though. It's kind of fun thinking about this stuff. Okay, so I'm going to put notes in again. We haven't really, like I said, I feel like I'm not making progress. We actually just rewrote a bunch of shit, and we're fixing a bunch of shit. So needs to be broken into 2 methods. So we actually did that. This is all wrong. See, so basically what's gonna happen is we're gonna get through all this rewrite, and then suddenly we're gonna hit all of these things, and like all of these should be much easier to fix after we've rewritten this. All right, so let me put a note in here so I don't forget what the fuck I'm doing for tomorrow. Each person and hero should research what skill they are using. Unless they are idle, then it should be a random research item. Heroes may research other things like I worked at this copy shop where I made copies, not coffee, ages and ages ago. And I think I'm almost positive it was EverQuest 2. The developers for that brought in like these books that were all of the code written in plain English. So it'd be like, if the player clicks this button, then this other screen opens up, and it had like diagrams and stuff in it too of like where the UI was, and like there weren't pictures, they weren't like drawings of what it would look like. It was like then the picture of dragon. It was kind of interesting to see. This is in 1995 or something. Heroes may research other things like I just mentioned it 5 minutes ago. Like oh, I can't. Can I go over here? No, I can't. Does that remember? Okay. Elitism. Yeah, that's what elitism. Each person in here. I tried to save the website. Each person here should research what the skill they're using. They are using less. They're idle, then it should be random. This should be done when their skill, when their jobs are getting checked at the end of the day. Oh yeah, no, I love closing tickets. The only problem is when I wait too long. Then like when here, I'll show you what I mean. Like here's one. If they are scavenging, they should check to see if there's other work. I think I already did that. So I didn't like keep up on my tickets. Actually, I'm not even sure if that is done. So if I keep up on the tickets, I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, I did this. And sometimes I'll break down my tickets into smaller steps so I get all right, this one's done. But mostly it's because I'm gonna forget that I like, oh shit, I needed like one of the major ones is this close the county info panel. I looked at that earlier this morning and I was like, God damn it, I still haven't made that. You can't close the county info panel. um, but yeah, the problem is that how much time do you spend managing all these tickets? At what point does it become more work than is just to work on it? Uh, I don't have an artist, but let's say that this game had an artist. I think it would be very helpful for me to assign them stuff. Like this is the art I need. But I was looking at this once again right before I started streaming. Oh, I moved it over actually. So I have this one called County Info Panel, and I have this other one called Counties, and then County Improvement. And this one says County Info Panel is below the bottom of the screen. So at some point I created this new one, and this should be over here. I guess I didn't even move it when I noticed it. And so now yeah. Here's the same issue. The same issue's in here twice. So, how much idle worker button show the idle workers? That already does that. I already did that. So how much time is like spent? Yeah, see this is show infrastructure. That's in the county info panel. That's next round though. How much time do I spend? That's a new thing, but I guess that's over here. Actually, I guess there's two of these. Story tutorial. I don't know. I've definitely get like so this one, the idle workers one. I'm not getting any pleasure from that because I already did it like ages ago. In fact, no, and then we fixed it somewhat recently. Except now I'm questioning how it works. Um, but when I go down them and I'm like, oh, this needs to be done, and then I fix it. Like bug reports, definitely. I put a lot of times I'll put in progress. I'll just dump a bug I noticed in. This one, for example, I just haven't tested enough. I'll definitely be having when that fucking thing's closed. Bug reports, 100%. Things that I check that I need to get done. I like having them in here, but it does spend a lot of time. And last weekend before I started streaming, I went through and cleaned up a bunch of this stuff and moved things around. Probably like 30, 45 minutes. I was gonna start streaming, then I noticed something that was off. I hit some hotkey that reorganized all these by like it wasn't alphabetical and it wasn't by the issue number, but somehow it reorganized a bunch of these. Maybe it was by issue number? No, this one's off. I don't know, but they were all messed up, and so they are in an order. Yeah, everything on here is um is things that I'm supposed to add to the game at some point. And like this one's good because it's so far out that I haven't even like this is like years out. I need to remember the ideas that chat and I've had. Start menu. This is just kind of like definitely every game has this, but it will be nice to get rid of those. But like some of these armies, yeah. And so what I do is I start like if the thing is here, should be the one on the right. And then when this one's done, we're going to go to county info panel. I move this in here and this goes to the bottom. Except years. Yeah. Oh yeah. Years. I only work on this on weekends. Let's see. I'm on 142. In let's say an hour or 3 hours a piece. That's only 400 hours. That's only like 10 weeks. I've been doing it for years now. So yeah, I mean, I kind of had to relearn from the Unity switchover, but that's whatever. Anyways, That's it for me today. Thank you guys. Bumblebite, always good to talk to you. I hope your game is going well. Uh, like I said, when you're ready, I'm ready. I want to see it. Anyways, that's it for me. Thank you guys. Talk to you later.